Hello, my little Titans, and Happy New Year. Oh, this is the first live stream of the New Year. That's awesome. What a lovely thought. How's everybody doing? How's your week? How's your New Year's celebration? Mine was pretty low key. I didn't really do anything. It was nice to have the day off, though. True to form, I'm watching some true crime, and that would have been an interesting episode. And hello, Fan. No, I'm watching a true crime, and they were like any number of things could happen. This person killed this person. There were three people, and there was some scenario where all of them killed each other. I'm like, that would make for a very interesting episode if they all somehow killed each other. I feel like they did something similar at one point in one of those episodes. I don't know why the plot sounds familiar, and I don't know why, but it feels very Star Wars. Uh, I think some of my favorite. Now that you said something about jail, I was like, wait a minute. There was an instance when they were in kind of like a jail. They were imprisoned, and it was because of Hondo. I freaking love the episodes with Hondo, the space pirate. Happy New Year, Wolf. Yeah, not too bad. How about you? Are you here for long or just for your break? Either or is great. I just wanted to know. Hi, Ash. Hello. Dude, that would totally be a great episode. It feels very Star Wars that they would do something like that. Why didn't they do something like that? It would have made for an excellent plot. Like, I guess you could say it was like the B plot for, let's say, Obi-Wan had to go deep undercover or something, and the only way to get, like, to make sure it was believable would be he's dead or whatever. I think that'd be really cool. Hello, Kel. Oh, how terrible. I'm so glad you're here, Wolf. Yes, I do like Star Wars. I like Star Wars very much. No. I know. I'm just like it felt very Star Wars. I think it was very good. I know the plot was made up, or sorry, the quote was made up, but the plot was real. Like I said, it felt very Star Wars. I kind of want to see that. It would have been really cool to see it from that perspective with Obi-Wan going deep undercover. Hello, everybody new to the chat. I don't have enough space for that. Thank you, though. Uh, Thank you. Hello, everybody new to chat. I'm gonna go back up and see what people have said. Give me a second. Hi, Jimena. Prayers for your dad. Yeah, prayers for your dad. Again, daddy. Sorry, that's like that is so sorry. Those got stacked. Um, if I had a space for a lightsaber fight, I totally would. Honestly, yes, I agree, Cheyenne. That'd be great. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. It's just kind of funny. Not much is up, guys. Just kind of chilling here. Imagine Anakin considered a killer undercover Obi-Wan, which gives him the feels. Who knows? I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to go back up and see what everybody keeps saying. Star Wars Fight Tupac. Dude, if I could. I mean, you should. Totally should. Is Wattpad still a thing? I didn't think it was a thing anymore. I thought it was slowly going out. Hence the influx of Wattpad arrivals to archive of our own. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like everything's coming over to archive. Not many people are still on it, but it's good for small time authors. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I think the same thing is true of fanfiction.net. Um, I think even the administrators over there have just kind of given up the ghost on that one, and they just went away. They just left. I would absolutely do that, Julie, if I could. Sounds pretty epic, honestly. I think we were on Terminator like 20.0 at this point. I don't know. Somehow Linda Hamilton still gets work, and somehow Arnold Schwarzenegger always ends up in one of those movies. I do know that Linda Hamilton's going to be in the new season of Stranger Things. I think it was. Thought that was pretty interesting. Honestly, no. It feels like they just keep coming out with Terminator, like Alien movies. Just keep coming out with Terminator movies, and they're trying to make it a thing, and it's not a thing anymore. Ooh, that sounds nice, Cheyenne. Can't have Terminator without Arnold. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I read this one story years ago on Wattpad. They stopped. Then I found it years later on archive. Nice. It'd be funny if she says this. You know what? I feel like they would do that. Didn't they for the Oh, that's all good, Cheyenne. For the dude who was in Goonies, I think it was. Didn't they have him do some like Goonies related references? But not like overtly obvious ones, just like very subtle ones. Unlike what they did in Wednesday, where they had pretty obvious references. Like they were cute references, but like that's a little heavy-handed, guys. Honestly, I did watch Wednesday. I watched most of it. I haven't finished it yet. It's on my list to finish. I think I got to like halfway through, and I feel like they kind of missed the boat a little bit on some of the characterization because, and what really got me was when more, and this is at the very beginning of the episode, so it's not like a huge spoiler, but it's more just like a personal nitpick. Morticia and Gomez were criticizing Wednesday for um, what she did to the kid at the school who was bullying their son. And I feel like the Morticia and Gomez, like at least that I knew from the Addams Family Values with Angelica Houston um, and Christina Ricci, they wouldn't have criticized her that much. They would have just been kind of okay with it. I mean, they bragged that Pugsley was on probation and that Wednesday wanted to be like her great aunt Calpurnica. Like it just felt off that they were criticizing her about what she did when literally their entire family has done way fucking worse. I I couldn't. That kind of lost it for me a little bit. Yeah, that might be where they go with it. I hope it's a subtle one. They're pretty good about that, but with her and with how heavy-handed Terminator is in general with storytelling, they may not be so nice with their references. Oh my god, what if they have her be like some kind of empty, like they're from the empty, like some kind of empty bounty hunter or assassin or some shit, and she comes walking in with explosions and all this, and everybody's just like, "What the hell?" Like, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me, I'm gonna hope it's a good thing from the future, right? Yeah. Well, okay. The Terminator movies came out in the '80s, right? Have you seen Dun 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 Dun? Not yet. She's here to save it. That's where I'm thinking. I'm like, is that where we're going with? Because she's there to save 11, or she's there to do something involving 11. Um, but yeah, I think they came out in the '80s, so it would be. And Stranger Things is set in the '80s, so oh my god, maybe they are gonna do some kind of weird future thing. Because Linda Hamilton would be at her prime in the '80s, because she'd be at the Terminator, like at the peak of her career, prime of her career with the Terminator movies and all that. And then to have her brought in, and she's older. What if it is some kind of weird like future thing? Oh my god. Yeah, that's that's strange. That would be strange. Hmm. I'm sure. Um, Now that I think about it, like that is just a weird thing to do. Like, are they gonna be watching the term? Oh my god! What if it's like they're watching the Terminator movies, like in the theater, or they managed to get a VHS tape. You know, VHS tapes were fucking expensive back then. They got it, and all of a sudden, like their wall explodes or something, and you see her walking in with guns and all this, and she looks awesome, and they're like they're like looking at her, looking at the TV, looking at her, looking at the TV. It's like that would be. I feel like that might be the direction they go. Just for the fun of it, just because they can, because it's the final season. I was born in '94, dude. VHS was like my life until DVDs came out. Hello. I felt so old when I had to explain to my daughter what a DVD was and how the DVD player works. She's 5, by the way, so it wasn't like she's asking me any questions or making me feel bad. She was just like, "Why do we have this?" She didn't I've had to explain to her what commercials are. I've had to explain to her that what previews are in like a movie or something. I went and took her to see Wicked, and she's sitting there, she's like, "What is all," like, because she saw all these, all the previews, and I said, "They're previews, honey," and she's like, "Well, what are they?" And I said, "They're previews. They're like telling you the movies, what movies are coming out." And she's like, "Oh, are they like ads?" I'm like, "Kinda not, but yes." By the way, this is also just like a kind of a gripe I had watching this. I went and like my first 20 minutes of movie experience, like when the lights dim and everything, the first 20 minutes wasn't even ads, wasn't even, or sorry, not even, wasn't even the previews, the proper trailers or any of that. Um, it was like literally anything else, like actual commercials and shit. I'm like, why am I sitting here watching commercials for a movie and I'm not watching the previews in this 20 minutes? Because then the previews came on and it took an additional like 20 minutes. So it's 40 minutes of like you say, Mike, ads. Just 20 minutes of solid ads that you can't skip, and only like some of them are entertaining. The only one of that I found entertaining was How to Train Your Dragon. Um, yeah, it was like, I didn't really like. I loved watching the movie in theater. It was great, but the whole, you know, the whole like 40, almost an hour of ads was just ridiculous. And I know they have to generate money somehow, but god damn, come up with something else. The own Titanic and Baltimore Beach. Dude, that Titanic one, I said that back when it came out, that would have set you back well. My mom bought my dad Rocky Horror Picture Show when it came out on VHS, and she said she spent like $85 on the VHS tape. One tape, singular, $85 back in like 1990 something. And I'm like, that was expensive even then. That's ridiculous. And thinking about it in today's dollars, that's the equivalent of buying like a couple of box sets. Hurts my soul to hear how we got explained. I know. It did me too. It also hurt me today to think, because somebody pointed out, in 5 years, the 80s will have been 50 years ago. And I told my mom that, and she's just like, please don't tell me anything anymore. I'm like, I know, it's hard to believe that we're on that side of time where things were at, like when people are talking about decades ago, they're talking about times we grew up in. Like people calling the 1990s the late 1900s. I'm just like, that just hurts a special part of my soul that just is not ready to accept that yet. Yeah. My mom spent $200 to get my dad a copy of Rocky Horror Picture Show when it came out on VHS. It is probably his favorite musical. It is probably his favorite movie. He can recite it line by line. And she obviously loved him to spend that kind of money. Because, good God, I don't know if that's worth it anymore for something like that. I mean, if I had unlimited funds, yeah, I would buy that kind of stuff for people, but that's if I had unlimited funds. Doing it unlimited funds, not so much. The Blair Witch Project, I have not seen that one. Not really my. I'm not super into horror. Like if I do, it has to have a really, yeah, it has to have a really good plot. I don't know if I've told everybody this, but the writing has to be really good for me to like a horror movie. Like one of my favorites is Crimson Peak, and it's not essentially like, it is a ghost story. It is kind of a horror story, but it's a well written one. Like if I read a book about it, I'd be highly entertained the whole time. It was the first found footage film, and it is still the only one that can I would say can hold up. I know after that movie came out, they tried it with a whole bunch of other things, um, with varying degrees of success. There's this one, and I don't remember if it's told completely from the point of view of like phones and cameras and shit, um, where aliens invade the planet, and this group of kids are trying to get out. I can't remember, but um, that one was semi found footage because like some of it took place through cameras, through like personal cameras, but most of it didn't. So that was like the only one I can remember that had similar success as Blair Witch, but not as much because Blair Witch was entirely filmed like found footage. Cloverfield, that's it. Thank you. Still don't get why Jenna goes. Maybe she was jealous because Frankenfurter looked happier sleeping with Brad after sleeping with Brad than he did sleeping with her. It's about my only guess there. Hello. Took you 7 times to understand Blair Witch Project. I don't even. I've heard of it. Like I said, I haven't watched. Um, I've seen scenes of it. I just always figured it was one of those psychological dramas where it just there's no real villain. It's more just like you're watching these kids slowly go crazy from uh like the paranoia that comes with thinking they're gonna be um killed by a deranged person, which whatever. I know it's about a ghost, but I feel like the whole thing was more psychological because you never see the ghost. Like the ghost never appears, but it's just they seem to be going crazy because they think there's this ghost and there really isn't a ghost, so they keep associating everything that happens with a ghost, or they do things to try to prevent the ghost that ends up with them getting hurt or whatever. And it's just watching them slowly fall into madness, like some kind of episode of Black Mirror. Well, I'm so glad that I'm at least marginally better than some other streamers K-pop. Well, a guy who speaks for like 10 seconds and he explains it all. I'll have to find that. It's in the beginning of the movie. Oh my god. So they basically give you the whole movie into the right beginning, and if you continue to watch, it's on you. Okay. Try it 6, 7 times. Fair enough. Fair enough. There's real music than their K-pop. I have nothing against K-pop. 7 study this movie 7 times. Wow. I don't think I've ever been into a movie or a series that much that I would study it that intently with so many people. Drinking coffee. Fair enough. That sounds lovely. I'm drinking tea. I mean, the closest I ever got was Harry Potter, I guess. But I was never actively online in those forums or communities or whatever back before, you know, everybody was online. Um, so I didn't really speculate all that much. I would talk sometimes with my friends about it, but that was about it. Hmm. Did I ever get into something like that so much? I guess people would argue Attack on Titan, but that's not really the same. Krista, hi. How are you doing, Krista? Long time no see. Glad you're here. No, we didn't. Sometimes a year. Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, either way. Oh, Bulldog's good. I will say, I think one series that I continually go back to and find new things about, um, this is sounds so weird and so kind of lame. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. I'm good. I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking, Krista. It it starts off so kind of cheesy, like a typical Scooby-Doo thing, but as you get further into it, like obviously there's a deeper story and everything, but even with like even after the story's been told, um, there's still so much more. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. It's one that came out, I want to say 2010s. It's one of their it's one where they live in the town called Crystal Cove. They're not super popular because they solve mysteries, and nobody wants the mystery solved because having villains attack is like active revenue for them for the town. Um, there's a lot more that goes on, but every time I watch it, yeah, it's on Boomerang now. It's not even that old, and it's on Boomerang. Yeah, I've known people like that that think that way too, Cheyenne. But anyway, with Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, like my daughter loves that one. I'm all for it. I find it entertaining. But every time I watch it, I keep going back to different things. I pick up on different things, and I want to sit down and like do like whole. I don't know that scene where the guy's got a whiteboard and just going everywhere. I want it. I want to do that because that's the only way I can make sense of some of the shit that I notice. Oh, I mean, the animation's weird, but the story is so worth it. Like, it's a really good story. I think you find it really entertaining. Happy New Year's, Krista. Because well, I mean, kind of they were behind it. They kind of weren't really, Cheyenne. No, not OG Scooby Doo Fred. Mystery Incorporated Fred was autistic coded in this one, yeah. Yeah, Mike just recently joined us oldies. It's 30, not too long ago. That's like me watching Looney Tunes and find all the racist I yeah, that's just like you just kind of go, oh boy. But no, I completely agree with you on that one, Cheyenne. He definitely was autistic coded in that whole series. But it wasn't even in a like if you're in on the know, you know. If you're not, you just think he's some kind of single-minded kid. And that's fine too. It works. It's a very good because you see a lot of development, like a lot of character development for him, but he's still true to his roots. It's really good. I really enjoyed that. Daphne, I feel like she was really stunted in the first season for obvious reasons because they all kind of had one track minds, and it was good to see they all evolved. But her character really suffered in the first season, just writing wise, because all she wanted to do is that was her whole goal was to date Fred. And it's like, okay, you got him. Now what do you do with him? And that's kind of I think why they ended up taking things the way they went. It's because they had no. Daphne had no idea what to do when she got him. All she knew was chasing him, and that's why I think it was good that they went the direction they did because it gave both characters room to grow and be new people, and it worked better. But her writing really suffered in the first season. Was Shaggy written as a hippie? Um, more like just the slacker, rich kid slacker, which was still good. Like he still was very much true to the original roots, but this time he had money and his family was ashamed of him, and he was just like, "Cool, I'm gonna go eat and hang out with my friends." Yeah, we've all heard about Velma. At least if you keep up with pop culture, I did. I was very skeptical when I first heard about it, and then when I heard how terrible it was, I was relieved I didn't give it a single minute of my time beyond just listening to people critique it because that was funny. I mean that's one theory I've heard. I've like this one I don't even remember who came up with it. I just saw it as like a short or something initially, and then I saw the whole video where, and this is dipping into the Mystery Incorporated lore a little bit, because there is some references to Eldritch in Mystery Incorporated. So they made a Scooby Doo, and this is not a spoiler for anything. This is just a theory thing I saw that was hilarious, and I loved it, and I back it 100%. Um, where Scooby's an eldritch god, basically, who came to Earth, and he met up with Shaggy and the rest of them, and they still did their whole, mystery solving thing. But um, if any of them started asking too many questions, and it was usually Velma, he would kill them all and then create a new timeline and bring them back and then keep going and going and going until inevitably Velma would figure it out. So then he'd kill them all again and restart the timeline. And I was like, that is so cool. I love this idea that explains why there's so many different iterations, why nobody questions anything, why things seem to work out the way they do, why it's almost equivalent to Supernatural where God was writing what was happening. Um, for the Winchester brothers, where they never suffered any consequences or had anything bad happen to them, really. And they always came back no matter what. That I loved that theory so much. I'm like, this would be awesome if anybody recognizes this is true. Having Scooby Doo be an eldritch god that got bored, came to Earth, solves mysteries, and if he gets found out, he kills everybody and resets the timeline. That's amazing. I love it. It was. I think that's my favorite Scooby Doo theory. I love the video that went with it because it was so. It was just so good. Like I couldn't take my eyes away. I was like, I need to just watch this masterpiece. It was so good. Watch Supernatural too. The ending killed me. Yeah. Depending on your reason. Oh, that's fair. I mean, if they gave Archer like a 2-season coma dream arc, they could give Shaggy an entire fucking series if they wanted to. Or have to cast hurt me. It hurt us all. It hurt us all, Wolf. That entire season hurt everybody for a variety of different reasons. I no. Mm-mm. I will say that one of my favorite episodes was, funnily enough, the Scooby Doo Supernatural crossover. I thought that was fantastic. That was handled so well. My favorite part was when Scooby and Shaggy literally got to say "I told you so" to the gang, and it was so hilarious. Because Shaggy goes, "I freaking told you." I'm like, oh, Shaggy swore. And I'm like, wait, yeah, he would. It's Supernatural. Why are you shocked? I'm like, and then the other person was like, because he was Shaggy. In the season where they got rid of Crowley was heartbreaking. Yeah. I mean, I honestly think Supernatural would have been fine if they had ended after like the first apocalypse, I guess. It felt more like that would be a better ending, but I don't know. Like there's some really good episodes and really good storylines, but then they did the thing. They added a kid, they added Jack, and then it just felt like it went downhill. Like, it was going downhill before then, because you can only have so many apocalypse-related storylines before it really gets old. But once they added Jack, I felt like things were just, like, very contrived. Yep. Yeah, I wasn't real like I said, nothing against the guy who played Jack. He did a great job. It was just the fact they wrote in a Nephilim and made him God was just not the right way. They've written themselves into a corner, and they knew the series probably should have ended, I don't know, like 6 seasons prior, and they were just like, "Mm, crap, what do we do? Add a kid, let's see how that goes," and it didn't go very well. Again, nothing against the guy who played Jack. He was fine. It was just the writing that was really shit. And now they did the Amara. Yeah, that one was also weird. I was like, okay, we're stretching the imagination here with the celestial being with the celestial beings, being on Earth and being a best-selling writer. Um, Now we're gonna throw in a sister who likes to break his toys. Oh my god, Mike, that's so fucking dark. Wow. Um, Freaking Jensen had this idea. He's like, I wish we could have crossed. He said he wished that they could have crossed over with more shows. He's like, we don't even have to say anything. What we would do is just drive up in the Impala and like Walking Dead or Vampire Diaries and go Slaughterhouse 5 on all of them. And I'm like, that would have been awesome. Why couldn't we have had that? We could have done an entire and everybody probably would have been fine with it. Where they go channel surfing through TV and into different TV episodes with their shit. And it's just like you said, we just roll up and do Slaughterhouse 5 on some of these people. It's like, yes, that would have been a lot more preferable to some of the seasons we got as a result of the writing. No, I agree. That could be a one too. Like, there's quite a few theories for Scooby Doo as far as why things happen the way they do. Like I said, the my favorite's just the Eldritch God Scooby. It's hilarious and wonderful. See, there would be an audience. People are even like, we would have an audience if there would be an audience for Supernatural if it's just Misha with a GoPro in his backyard filming it. And they're like, yeah, there probably would be a market for that. There would be a huge audience for that as well. I haven't watched the prequel series where it's about Mary and John. I'm just like, I can't. I didn't like Mary and John when the series was out. I saw nothing redeemable about either parent. They were both very shitty. Like, Mary's death notwithstanding, she was just shitty to Dean. He was her son. She knew him best. Like, yeah, he was 4, but there's still 4 years of love there. And she just throws all that down the fucking drain because why this group of Brits decides that they know how to hunt monsters better. So she just goes with them. That was just like, really? You don't even care. You don't even care. And you're not even trying to get to know your youngest son, who you gave birth to and then 6 months later died because of some demon deal you made. You're not even trying to get to know him at all. It just mm, didn't really care for that one. Like, I know they needed something new. They needed something to introduce. Like, no, it would have been far more interesting if they brought John back, honestly, because then we could have seen. Because at that by that point, John had been gone long enough that both of the boys had developed into great hunters. Um, and John coming back would have thrown a huge wrench in the dynamic, and that would have been a much more interesting thing to investigate and see if done well. Probably wouldn't have been done well, but that would have been an interesting thing to see. Um, but no, let's bring the dead mom back. Why not? Exactly what, yeah, exactly like what Supernatural did with Scooby Doo. Jesus Christ, Mike. Oh my God. I know they did something like that in one episode where it was Gabe just like torture chamber thing where they were just going through different TV tropes. But watching them actually be part of an episode of something would have been way funnier. Yes, that one was good. I love every time they broke the fourth wall with those episodes, I thought they were great. We needed more of them. Yeah, and Mary just jumps into being this whole badass hunter. I think no, that's not realistic. Hunting wasn't even a part of her life when she had Dean and Sam. Also, weird she named both of her sons after both of her parents. Just seemed odd to me. Oh my God, yes. I think it was Sam with the demon actress because Jared Padalecki is married to Genevieve, who played Ruby, who was the demon. So I think you have it mixed up a little bit. But yeah, that was hilarious. If they did it now and they brought all the wives and the kids with it, that would have been perfect. That would have been a great episode. Dean's actually apparently canonically a really good cook. So having Dean do something with Gordon Ramsay or some kind of food related episode or something like that would have been a really interesting one to see because he probably would have enjoyed that crap out of it. Oh my God. An episode of Cops would have been good because it's like the cops are like, we're responding to this call about these two people that are breaking into a house, and it's Dean and Sam, and we're all like, oh, here we go. I don't know if Dean would be cussing out Gordon Ramsay because I imagine that Dean probably would have a lot of respect for somebody like him. I don't know. It just seems weird if he would just yell and curse. He doesn't. He has very odd takes on things, and I feel like he would actually respect Gordon Ramsay and value his opinion and all that. I don't know why. Just from how he interacts with other people. Yeah. Oh my God, if they did oh, I have no idea why. I think it would be hilarious if Dean, Cass, and Sam did a whole ass episode of Archer. I don't know why. I don't know why, but that's what immediately jumped in my head. Imagine the Supernatural Squad and Danny Phantom Mission Impossible. I think. Oh, Danny Phantom would be an interesting one. Danny Phantom would be an interesting one for sure because we're hunting a ghost. I am a ghost. No, you're not. And then he goes ghost, and they're all and Cass is like, yeah, he is. He's right there, and he's a ghost. That would have been great. That would have been a good one. It's another one. Another, Archer would be hilarious just from the. I feel like Cass would be Archer's pet project of how Dean wanted to kind of let him have a great last night alive kind of thing. I feel like Archer would be the one to bring him into the hedonistic lifestyle. Just make it his personal mission to get Cass as fucked up as humanly possible, and it would be great. I know, but I think it's I don't know why. Maybe they just couldn't get the rights to any other shows. Maybe no other shows wanted to do a crossover thing. Didn't think it would work, but I think there's a lot of possibilities. And I mean, if you really wanted to bring it in there, we could have them cross over with like animated Marvel or DC. I mean, the three of those three Yahoos and fucking John Constantine would be a fucking riot. That would have been great. I just the sheer existential crises and dread John would have from working with an angel would have been worth the whole thing. I think it would have worked way better than Amara and Jack, for sure. And then we could have avoided like 5, 6 seasons worth of just shit. Oh yeah. Then channel surf, like starting Scooby Doo, and then they just channel hop and channel surf for a while, and then like in each episode, like what happens is they have to actually go through the episode. They can't just like they can't just blow their way through it. They can't just power their way through it. I mean, they definitely have the option, but that's not going to get them to the end of the episode because once they get close to the end, it resets the beginning if they did it wrong. So they have to go all the way through it again, and they have to actually get through the whole episode. So they have to play along with the tropes. They have to play along with the characters. They have to do whatever they're assigned to do. Um, I think what would have been another one that would be funny is the show Psych. The fake psychic detective. Um, because Cass would probably just be looking at him like, "How? What are you talking about? That's not." Cass would have such a hard time with Sean just because Sean is such a bullshitter, and would just and Cass would be like, "How are you doing it?" Like either Cass would fully believe him, and the other two are skeptical, or they all don't believe him, but they're not sure how he's doing it, how he's so right. I think that would have been a fabulous one. Just and Sean's just playing it up. Like he doesn't know that they actually are who they are, and he doesn't believe that Cass is an angel or anything. It's just funny. It would just be fun. Like he's just playing off like he usually does with the characters. I think that would have been a good one. See how well being fake cops work when all you're doing is working with real cops and a fake psychic detective. Like Sam and Dean lie for a living, so does Sean Spencer. Like seeing all of them lie to get through the episode and the increasingly weird situations they find themselves in would be great. And of course, as they progress through the episode, they find little hints about how to get out or who's behind why they're trapped in the TV or whatever. But I think it would have been a better way of doing it. You could definitely get 15 episodes out of that. Imagine if Supernatural Squad isn't Dexter. That would have been, yeah, like there's so much potential. And again, it doesn't have to be like they just go in and kill everything, but there's so much potential. Oh my God. They kind of had one where they showed the filming of Gilmore Girls, and the guy who plays Sam, Jared Padalecki, was in that. His name was Dean, which is funny. But they, um, I think they should have gone with that, like, delve more into the Gilmore Girls thing. Like, why not have it be like Sam's favorite show, or Sam did a stint to pay for school by being in the show, or something like that. Why not? That would have been way more interesting, I think. Can't believe Dean was the Bay Harbor, but well, I can't believe that Sam and Dean only got arrested 4 times. And I don't know if it counts if they were arrested by the same group twice. I feel like the episode of Cops may have done something similar to the episode of Ghost Facers that they did, where it's just them coming up and swearing and all this. That would have been hilarious. I think Ghost Facers is the closest we ever got to seeing what Sam and Dean look like from an outside perspective. Like we see them, we know them, we we're with them. We know how they operate and all this. But from an outside perspective, they are just two huge dudes coming in with guns, swearing up a storm and talking about demons. Like, that's kind of freaky shit. Like, we all say, oh, we'd be so happy if they were. No, we'd be scared as fuck because they're two huge dudes with guns that just came out of nowhere. That included when they gave themselves up to jail. Was that when they went to the psych ward? I can't remember. But I'm still Christmas. That see, they could have had a that reference somewhere. I don't know. It would have been they could have done a lot more than they did. Yeah, miss those guys and Bobby. Yeah, that would have been much better. Hmm. Yeah, the Ghostfacers dudes were hilarious. I wish they'd been around more. I wish Bobby had lasted longer. Like he lasted long by supernatural standards, but and so did Felicia Day. But I feel like they all should have lived longer to make things better. Like we didn't need to arbitrarily just kill off every single person that ever got close to Sam and Dean to ultimately they were just alone. Like, what the hell? And I think one of my favorite episodes was they were in heaven the first time and they were talking to Ash and they're like, we technically got Ash killed and Ash was like, I don't hate you guys for it or some shit like that. I'm like, that's that I why can't we just bring them back? Like why did everybody have to die? You could have had the network that they were talking about. Like Bobby was the central network hunters. Why did what happened after that? We never saw that. Apparently everybody just ended up dead because they all interacted at some point with Sam and Dean, which I feel was kind of ridiculous. Like if you have too many characters to do anything with, that's one thing. And you can handle that in different ways. But the way they handled it was just kill them off. Like what the hell? Even Sam and Dean. Yeah. Me and Preston Charlie. I thought Charlie was great. I like Felicia Day. I thought Charlie should have stuck around longer. They needed a little sister and she was perfect. I don't know, they brought Sam and Dean back every season, even though they died in horrific ways. And then they killed off Bobby like twice before it finally stuck. They killed off Barry twice, I guess. And John a few times. No, John they only killed once. Apparently once was enough for that bastard. Cass a couple times. He came back though. Till it finally stuck. Like eventually it started off with Sam and Dean by themselves and ended with Sam and Dean by themselves. Nothing nothing meant anything. There was no final. It would have been better if the series had ended with all of them kind of gathered at the bunker, like all the main guys gathered, everybody's just together, and you really feel the connectedness of all of them. Like even if they hadn't been there for in the show for a while, just bring them back, have them all there, have it be like some kind of big reunion because they were all working in their own way towards the end of the apocalypse. That would have made a lot more sense than they just did it alone. They did it and they ended up alone. That's just kind of shitty writing, honestly. Rowena. Um, I don't know whether you're saying that to bait me or not, but just so you know, Rowena and Crowley were mother and son. So, I mean, no judgment, but I just want to make sure you're aware of who they were to each other in case you missed that episode. But I will say, Rowena Slade. Like, I love her. That actress is so good. She's wonderful. God damn Wolf. I meant their dynamic. Oh, fair enough. Don't say say that. Don't favorite shit. Okay. You think those 2 should have been exes? I thought the mother-son thing was interesting because it all came back the whole theme of the show was, like, coming back to parents and children and legacy, which is fine, but they could have done better with Sam and Dean leaving a legacy of their own, and the legacy could have been the family they built around them, despite the fact they started off with a crappy hand with their mom dying and then their dad being who he was. They could have at least shown they found family. Like, they could have shown they built this family. They have friends, they have connections, they grew beyond what their parents did. Like, that would have been a better legacy for them. How many times have you almost got Levi and Aaron? Huh? Sorry, not sorry. Trying to figure out what you're talking about, Cheyenne. I'm sorry. Have I almost killed Levi and Aaron? Well, fact check me. How many times have I tried to kill Aaron and Levi? Oh, you read my story. You read my. Oh, fuck you. But I appreciate the honesty. You you read my fanfic. Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. That one was good. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really great. I don't want to find out. I write fan fiction. Apparently, Cheyenne found it. Oh, I thought only Wolf read my stuff. Primarily Attack on Titan. Well, I know it's other. I just didn't. I just didn't know. I've just never. Apart from Wolf, no one I interact with regularly on my in my community reads my work that I know of. Now I know Cheyenne does. I know. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I haven't had anybody really come out and say they've read it, aside from you, Wolf. But I forced that on you, so you don't have a choice. That's fine. Yeah, legitimately have not had that many interactions with people who've read my work. That's why that was just kind of a surprise. Whoa. Cliffhangers never fucking end. Well, thank God I finished one of them. So there aren't any cliffhangers. It's just next chapter. There's not, I mean, warning would be violence. I guess there's nothing else weird. Oh my God. I'm finishing them up, actually. Wolf can attest to this. I'm in the process of writing the last few chapters. I've written most of them. I'm just writing the fighting arc. I'm still working out how to come it together with that. Oh my god. No, man, no. I'm not. No. Well, oh my. You know I'm writing the last few chapters. You read some of them. Chill. It's just I don't really know. Author summary. I, Let me bring it up then. For the love of Christ. Whoa, that's not supposed to happen. And I think I killed my computer. My computer died somehow. Oh god, did I just lose the whole story? It's gonna be really fucking sad if I did because that's thousands of words. Okay. Author summary. I'm getting it. Stop. I don't know how to summarize it very well. The summary for the first one is the war against the Titans bitterly rages on, bringing with it new information, new enemies, and new challenges for the members of the second Special Operations Squad Levi. Aaron's powers as a shifter are slowly revealed, and with them, a mystery and plot as wide and deep as the sea he read about as a child. He isn't sure what his future will be like, if it's even certain, but he does know that whatever it is, he won't walk the path alone. There you go. How's it on fucking Wattpad? I didn't post it on Wattpad. Okay, now I gotta find this because it shouldn't be on Wattpad. No, no, this is becoming a problem. Okay. Okay, we're good. I had to make sure because people have been known to take writings off of like archive and post them on different websites. Hmm. Oh yeah, it is, unless I delete it. Alrighty, my lovely little titans. It was a lot of fun. Um, thank you so much for joining me. I had a really great time talking with all of you, and I hope you have a great night, a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, everybody.